The album title came from one of the songs. It's a lyric out of one of the songs. The song being "Even Though Our Love Is Doomed," which is one of the more upbeat songs on the record. Well, finding a title that all four band members agree on is a bit of a struggle, because what I might like they won't like, and vice versa. And I think it just speaks to a theme that's run throughout our entire career. And it seems sort of the most authentic, and sort of speaks of ourselves and of our fan base, and also just how, like, the album cover has a sort of leopard skin G on it with claws, and it just seemed like a kind of interesting juxtaposition to have the strange little birds and then have what is clearly not a bird on the album cover, because I feel like everybody gets sort of pigeonholed as one thing, and often you're something completely different, and I think that's why. The album process, well, we recorded the entire album in Atwater Village in Los Angeles, excuse me, and we did it between Butch's house and my husband's studio, and it was pretty laid back, actually, the recording process. I mean, we've been sort of through a fraught period a few years ago, and so now things have sort of levelled out, and there doesn't seem to appear to be too much fraughtness, although of course whenever you're in a band there's got to be some tensions. Just it's natural. It's like being with your family. I mean, try spending hours and hours on end with your family day after day. You're going to have a few issues. Well, the first single off the new record is called Empty, which is the second track on the record, and it was just, again, a song that we all sort of agreed on was sort of spoke of the whole record as a whole. Sounds really like us. I think when you hear it, you're like, that's them, for better or for worse. And is just about obsession, basically. The other song that I really love is If I Lost You, which is probably the first sort of love song I've written, or we have written, since Milk, off our first record, that comes from a really vulnerable place. I realised that as a writer I tended not to be too vulnerable ever, for whatever reason, I don't know, but I had determined on this record that I was going to go to the places that I deliberately avoid for reasons I'm not very sure, but I'm really proud of how that track sounds. I think it sounds really modern and quite different to any other track on any of our records. Well, when we decided that we were going to make a new record, I had this idea, it goes back to this idea of vulnerability. Like, I have never really been particularly vulnerable because I'm just too aggressive and too fearful, and the only times I'm ever really vulnerable is when I'm in love. And there have been things that have happened throughout my life that I've deliberately avoided in music, and this time I was determined to attend to some of these, what I call hot spots in my life. And the very last song on the record is called Amends, and that covers something that I've been wanting to tackle for a long time and never really had the courage to, and so it felt good to finally get that off my chest.